So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in color, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day I produced a Louis, had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithms really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track Xtra. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Downs and welcome to another episode of On the Track Xtra. I hope you all managed to survive Christmas. I'm not going to make any secret of the fact that it's not my favourite time of the year, and I'm always heartily glad when it's over. And one of the great things about it being over is that we can return to Dave Scott and his accounts of the strange Sasquatch-related activity that's taking place in a surprisingly suburban area of southern Canada. This is part 2 of a show that was first broadcast before Christmas. Enjoy.
But yeah, nothing new on Bigfoot here at all. There's nothing, no reports, nothing. I'm hoping the snow kind of slowed me down. I did get one camera up in there. I wanted to get 4 up, but I only found one good spot to hide it, which would give me something. It's about 12 feet high, unfortunately, but so it's looking like this, more down. So I don't know what kind of pictures we'll get. I did hear something out there the other day, and the train went by, did a single honk, which is get off the tracks, but it was actually a homeless guy walking down the tracks. So, but that was exciting when I heard it, because that's what started it all in June or end of May, early June this year, was that single honk and then the whoop. So hopefully come April, I will have all the cameras deployed. I've got all the equipment to set up a listening device in behind one of the cars, so we can listen out in that field and just record it 24/7. And we can hear any whoops, breaks, anything big going through the woods. So my deer out back are gone. Mind you, they've been doing sewer systems out there and digging it up a lot, which the deer actually like because there's a lot of water. They could come in and walk through it. And so I got to see them a lot. I think I sent you the pictures of that. So the food's still there. Their food supply is still going to be there. The geese were back. And so we're crossing our fingers for another successful season this year.
Where do you think he's gone?
Hang on, my phone was ringing. Sorry?
Where do you think he's gone? Do you think the Bigfoot is hibernating, or do you think the Bigfoot's moved on to somewhere else on a seasonal way? Or do you think the Bigfoot was frightened away by the rock concert?
I actually, because when we was with the TBRC, we did do a study because the city of Austin, Texas, has 2 distinct sighting times, in the spring and in the fall, and they're going in opposite directions. And so I think they migrate. I'm not too sure where they are going. And I don't know. I think you and I have discussed this before. I know I've definitely discussed it with Robin. I think they try to get to a warmer area, which I would have thought Southern Ontario would be better. Maybe I need to get down closer to Windsor and that, but they got more snow than we did. They got like 4 feet. Very unusual lake effect on the snow this year. So I'm not quite too sure where they went. And that's been an ongoing project for me. I've been mapping out where the sightings are and trying to get a pattern of where they're going, like when they are traveling through areas, when they are not. I am organizing a presentation for the local Sasquatch hunters here in January or February, and I'm going to present Area F to them, give them access to it, and show them where I've been, what I'm doing. Um, Hopefully, they can bring us some reports and some locations. I know Dennis still updates me on what he's doing. He's actually quite far north right now. He's up around the Godrich area, which got like 5 feet of snow. So I don't know how much success he's having getting out in the field. Who's that?
That is, hold on a second.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, your camera's gone off.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Still you up there. Oh, sorry. Morning coffee. Got to have it. So hopefully this year will be more successful. I'm more prepared for it. I was not prepared for it in June. I would never have thought a large hominid would come in that far into the city. Now, I am right on this outskirts of the city, and the third whip I heard was across the road, in behind the Rona, and out in the fields, which is open country. I've spent numerous hours driving up and down either side of that area, trying to get in there, and there's just nothing. There's no way in. And I've gone to a couple of houses that have roads, like farm roads, and I haven't managed to catch anybody at home. And I'm not going to go through somebody's property without saying, "Hey, I just want to walk down to the river. Can I do that?" Maybe after the snow is gone, Candace and I, my hiking daughter, we could get out and walk down the river ourselves. We'll just leave from work, get on the river, and go. That's because CN's finding $5,000 for you being up there now for being on the tracks. So it's not something I want to risk because I got an extra $5,000. But I wouldn't be able to buy that Jeep in the future, you know, if I kept on getting fined. But see, you're not going to buy it for me. It's only $46,000. Like, come on.
No, I'm just completely unreasonable, aren't I?
Yeah, yes, you are. You're hard to get along with. Yes.
Have you found historical records of the being Bigfoot sightings within the city area?
Well, St. Thomas isn't that far. It's only like 12 kilometers from here. And we have a huge amount of sightings along the Elgin Trail, which I need to finish hiking this year. Didn't get it done this year because of Area F. Kind of really sucked up a lot of my time, as you know. I need to get down there and see some of these sighting areas and just be there, you know, literally be there. And hopefully they'll give me some clues as to what I'm looking for when I come up closer to the city, because if it's not the same Sasquatch, it's the same family. It's got to be because they're really close. So yeah, historically there has been quite a few sightings. I having trouble getting a reply from the London Free Press to get a hold of their um, historical documents. Because I'd like to go through some of the old papers and see if there's any wild men sightings in the old, you know, because the London Free Press has been around for over 100 years. Like, I think they've been around for 125 years or something. And if anybody's going to have it, they will. I know the St. Thomas paper has been very good. Oh yeah, we have tons. You know, I guess Dennis had already contacted them about the Elgin Trail or something, or somebody had. We do have a lot of Ontario cryptid or cryptid Canada. People actually live in London So I'm hoping to meet with all of them in February. And if we could gather up all the sites, if I'll get a great big map of this area up to Godrich, or maybe even up to Georgian Bay. Yeah, Georgian Bay. If we could get from Georgian Bay down to Lake Erie, and everybody just sticks a pin in where they have a recording on it, we can see where they're congregating, what time of year. We'll do different colored pins. We'll spend a couple hours. Work was kind enough to give me a room. It only holds 16 people, though. I can only put 16 people in there, but I think it'll be worth it to get 16 researchers in the same room from the same area. And we'll record it for you.
Oh yeah, please film that.
Yeah, and then we'll see exactly what we're dealing with in this area, because I'll be honest, I was looking at Eastern Ontario, all the sightings over there, which is like 300 kilometers away, and I'm finding more and more that we're not as high as Eastern Ontario, which isn't as high as Northern Ontario. We actually do have a lot of sightings in this area. So, I could get home in 20 minutes in the morning. I take 40 because, I haven't been down this back road in a long time. It's still dark, and it's just dusk, and hoping to see something. It's I'm putting miles in the car, but I'm trying to get as much data as I can. We have so many little waterways around here in Southern Ontario, like little creeks, rivulets. I guess you call them rivulets. They're not rivers, but they're not small creeks either. Drainage ditches galore for construction, because London's increased over 100,000 people in the last year and a half. So things are getting disturbed, and I think that's what drove this guy in. Is he probably got in close to one of the construction sites, didn't like it, went through the waterway under Hyde Park Road, and went, hey, this ain't bad. Now it look food. And I think that's why he stuck around so long, because the only thing he had to deal with was the idiot on the other side of the fence whooping at him all the time and throwing strawberries and apples and that to him. So I'm hoping he remembers that I was throwing that stuff out there for him. I have the same access to day-old fruits and that again this year, so coming up. So we will have more. I'll be able to put out stuff, and I'll put a camera directly on the feeder this year, because I have more cameras now. And hopefully we could see him actually going up and getting them, and coming up and stealing that strawberry or stealing an apple, or, maybe he'll start gifting back and give you some nice shiny rocks or something, chunks of gold, like big ones, like that big. And I'll buy the Jeep myself then, and I'll put Sasquatch on the back of it, sponsored by.
I knew the Jeep would come into it somehow.
Oh, the Jeep's going to be, until I get it, it's actually sold. That one's gone. But until I get something like that, I'm not going to be happy. So, but I actually think I need a much older one, because I know the last time I bought a brand new one, and it didn't stay looking brand new very long. I had a big dent in the front bumper from pushing a guy, and yeah, tree branch scratches all up and down the sides, and so I think I need something a little older. So if I do beat it up, it don't matter.
Well, thank you for that, David.
Yeah.
And I will keep my ear to the ground to hear what you're doing next, and come back on the show very soon and tell us about the other stuff you're doing.
Okay, I'm working on books right now. It's winter, so that's about it. So I did do some water samples, and was very distressed, actually. The environment really matters to me, because we have to keep a healthy environment to keep healthy wildlife. Lake Champlain on the northern and on the Canada side has a large algae bloom right now. growing up. It's increased 20% in 2 years, which is a lot of pollution causing it. I'm a little worried about if there is anything in Lake Champlain. It's going to run out of air. That lake's going to die if they don't start dealing with it. It's the same problem we had with Lake Erie here 30 years ago. And then the zebra mussels came in, and it was, oh my God, zebra mussels, and they've actually cleaned the lake up. So it's 6 to 1. You take an invasive species and clean it out. But I did get some depths on the river going down from St. Lawrence to Lake Champlain, and there's no way a whale's getting up there. So even and beluga whales will go into fresh water, which is what we thought might be going on, and it's just not. It's just not going to happen. There's one part where it's only a canoe can get through it, and I'm pretty sure if a whale was going up there, it would have been seen. But they did have in Montreal this year. They had sperm whales. They had 2 sperm whales come into the harbor, which was really cool. If you look that up,
Oh, wow.
sperm whales, Montreal, Quebec. They had them, and they were hanging out there for a while. So whales are coming in deeper. So I don't know if it's an evolution that they're getting into more brackish water, because it's still brackish in St. Lawrence there, or if they're actually going to be able to adapt to fresh water. So that would be very cool. Now, you can definitely tell there's sperm whales at Montreal because the video is really good of them.
Didn't you say that you'd done a eDNA?
Hey?
Didn't you do an eDNA test on water from that corner of Lake Champlain?
Yeah, that's how we found out about the giant algae bloom there. The Department of Agriculture, Canada, did the water test. They didn't find anything at all. So I did talk to somebody there. I don't know what rank or anything he had, but I told him about the other one that we did in London that showed beluga whale, but it was like 0.5 or 0.7%. And he said that could just be somebody came up the river in a canoe or a small boat. They got near the whales which are in the St. Lawrence, and just happened to bring it up with them. So he said that might just be a freak. We don't detect anything, but we haven't been there in a couple of years, and the algae bloom is out of control. He goes, that's a big concern for them. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to look at their sewage disposal in the towns along the lake, I guess. They're either going to have to treat that water more before they dump it in, or start using outhouses. And that could be what it is. It is cottage country, so I know in our cottage, when I was a kid, we had an outhouse out back. We used to go dig a new one every year, and every year Environment Canada would make you dig it back further. And of course, we were on a lake with black bears, so the further back out the outhouse got, the more scary it got going to the bathroom at night. So you didn't. You waited till the sun came up and then ran out. But other than that, not much really going on.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is about it for this episode. Thank you very much, Dave, for our long and rambling conversation, which I edited down to some semblance of size. I'm sure we're going to be hearing more from him as the year develops. I hope you all have a very happy and prosperous 2025, and no doubt I'll be seeing you.